Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. February 8, 2023. What is the state of the union? Where are we as a nation? Where are we as a nation? Where are we as a nation? Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting. So, State of the Union, State of the Union. What is the State of the Union? What is the State of the Union? President Joe Biden gave a glorious speech last night about the State of the Union. And I couldn't get, I mean, it's a struggle to keep your eyes open watching Joe Biden. It's just boring and nonsensical in many respects. We're watching the leader of our great nation stand before a lot of very smart people, elected officials, not some of them not so smart. And he's just, I don't know, it's just like watching Grandpa, give a talk. There were moments, I think there was one moment where he calls out the fact that large corporations don't pay any taxes, and that is a ongoing phenomenon in this country. Why do regular people tolerate large corporations not paying a nickel in tax while they're paying a third or more of their income and then some for taxes to bring down a deficit that never comes down? So the deficit doesn't come down. Right? The amount of American debt continues to spiral upward, regardless of what any politician tells you. Joe Biden is going to tell you we've reduced the deficit by $1.2 trillion, the most in any administration's history. Trump raised it 4 times. It's all bullshit. The national debt keeps going up. The other big lie that I heard that was interesting, the Democrats have been telling a lie for many years that the Republican Party wants to cut your Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare benefits. They want to scrap it. They want to send it into oblivion and not pay for it anymore. That is and always has been a giant lie by the Democrats. There's no Republicans that want to cut Social Security or Medicaid. They want, they have a different view of how to handle it, but certainly not cut it. And so Joe Biden, he forwarded that lie one more time, and the Republicans laid into him around 38 minutes into the talk. So that was kind of interesting. I'll play that part. That's really it. It's Wednesday. What else is going on? There's Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un's daughter, you heard? Kim Jong-un has an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old daughter that we don't even know how old she is. And it looks like he's honing her to be the next grand poobah, the next king. When he goes, she might inherit it, because why is a 9-year-old girl sitting down at the table with military leaders in a leadership role at 9 years old? So that was rather interesting. In sports, LeBron James, the great basketball icon, has passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the most points ever scored, lifetime points scored by a basketball player. So LeBron James is now the all-time leading scorer in basketball. And, and last night we had a Dharma gathering. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good first try, rolling out the idea of meditation for all, not just a select few. I know you got to be part of the Buddhist community to meditate, and or fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about, man. Because you got to be part of a tradition. We're trying to dispel all that Buddhist nonsense about meditation. Meditation is directly from the guy who wrote it. He's the Buddha, right? And he sat down and he discovered something, right? When everybody else was trying so hard to literally hurt themselves and scare the discursiveness and bad thoughts out of their body. The Buddhist said, no, 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 no. You go the other way. You relax into it. You enjoy your body. You enjoy your mind. Right? And that phenomena of mindfulness of breath has been going on for 2,500 years. Many people have experienced deep and long-lasting relief. Some may even call it enlightenment from daily suffering. And so if you're not doing anything on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m., join us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's not my lane, really, because I'm usually sleeping by 8 o'clock. but I'll stay awake. I'll stay awake for that. I'll stay awake. And, a 90-day meditation challenge. Watch the video. It's up. 90-day meditation challenge. Ongoing, rolling process. You don't have to start yesterday. You start now. And then you count. You get your calendar out. And you mark 90 days into the future. And you vow to sit for 10 minutes every day mindfully. And my assumption, my experience is that you will come out of that with a profound experience. You might not see the profound experiences happening as they go along, but at the end of it, you realize that the things that you were worried about, the things that you didn't understand, are suddenly crystal clear. That's how meditation works. It's you lead into it without expectation, and then the results somehow come into your life. Right, that's what it is. So 90 days. Watch the video, man. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you're a big Buddhist and you think you got it all figured out, and I know. No. My tradition is different than your tradition, and your tradition isn't valid. Your tradition is a lower vehicle, and my vehicle is the higher vehicle. I've heard every line of bullshit with the pseudo Buddhists. Damon says LeBron James is a piece of shit. Yeah, he's had his foot in his racist mouth a few times in his career, but nonetheless, because he's black, we have to bow a knee because the black man has suffered deeply in this country, Damon. Don't you know that? They deserve, reparations, slavery, right? The Americans, the Westerners took the Africans from Africa and brought them here, and one of them became the president 200 years later, or 400 years later. But there's deep confusion in the African American community, deep-seated confusion, and finger pointing at everybody else for their problem. Probably the single greatest heir and heiress to meditation could be the black community if they would only sit down and stop it already, right? Well, it's profitable, it's profitable to cry racism. You move to the front of the line. Why would you stop? If every time you cry racism, you move up the scale forward, why would you stop crying racism? Right? Why would you stop crying racism to the white guy in front of you? And when you cry racism, the very, very soft-skinned white person that believes somehow they're at fault for your problem, that person jumps out of the way and says, "Yes, black man, come on in. Yes, Mr. LeBron James, come right in. I understand that I was born white with a certain degree of privilege, and I see it in myself, and I acknowledge it. And to you, black man, I would like to offer you eternal reparations, money." These are things you got to deal with, right? You got to deal with Black America for now until they can deal with it themselves. And that's not a racist statement. That's just a statement of fact. So here's my thumbnail today. There's Joe Biden, Mr. Conehead, and there's McCarthy sitting on the fucking panel. There he is, man. Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, gaveling in the ceremonies at the great State of the Union speech. by Joe Biden. And so my name is Marcus Conte. I got a website every morning at 9 a.m. right here on YouTube. We're live. We're live. Sometimes we're on D Live, but right now we're on YouTube every morning, 9 a.m., Monday to Friday, Eastern Standard Time. Plus, as I was just saying, we added Tuesday at 7 p.m. for the live Dharma gathering and open discussions. A time for you to come on and talk. No restrictions. There's no, just, the only requirement is don't be a dick. And everybody knows what that means, right? Even in the context of a Dharma talk, don't be a dick. Right? And you can come on and say whatever you want without being a dick. So we're as I said, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., and we've added the 7 p.m. live Dharma talk on YouTube, and I think it's going to be popular. I think more people. I think more people once. I could tell you the fundamental problem with this sort of thing is that there's a lot of people that make a lot of money on meditation. They teach it. They give classes in it. They train people to give meditation. It's all becoming accredited and part of the medical industrial complex, sort of, right? But you don't need any of that. That's the point. So when you're confronted by these big Buddhists to learn how to meditate, to do something extremely simple like following your breath, it's not to say that teachers can't help. But there's plenty out there, there's plenty out there like, Thich Nhat Hanh has, before he died, published, hundreds of videos of him explaining the process. So my hope, remember Obama? Hope. My hope in that field is that people would start to come together and stop categorizing each other into traditions and what sect of Buddhism. That's like Christianity, right? There's you and there's you, right? And then there's this teaching by the Buddha who's trying to help you. The whole thing is designed to help you. The Dharma, the Buddhist teaching, the Four Noble Truths, is just a blueprint for meditation. That's really all it is. It all comes down to sitting quietly and following the breath and seeing suffering for what it is, right? Grasping at the future, worrying about the past, worrying about right now, being distracted from the moment. Right? That's what it's all about. Right? And the Dharma and these quote teachings are designed to help you navigate through that, and that's all it really is. There's no guru. There's no stuff. Weevil Girl, thank you. Hey, Weevil Girl's here. I like your way of explaining how to meditate, Marcus. Thank you, Weevil Girl. I appreciate that. Again, it is taught in that respect that there really is nothing more than breath. Right? The thing is, it's too simple. Right? It's too simple. So thinking humans have to come along and complicate it, and try to get in there and narrate what you're seeing. Right? What you're seeing when you sit quietly, when you follow the breath by yourself in the beginning, is what you're witnessing is chaos. You're witnessing wild, erratic, impermanent mind flipping from one thing to another. It's changing. It's not permanent. It's changing just like the weather, or the sun goes up and the sun goes down, or the tides rise. We're the same as that. We're always changing. But grabbing onto it as if it's permanent is the thing that hurts it. But more simply, there's nothing more to it. Right? First, you've got to believe that it has a benefit to it, that on the other side of this practice is relief. So you breathe. And you know that this is the way to liberation. Right? And that's the whole thing right there. Right? You're going to hit the rough edges. You're going to hit problems. But ultimately, you're the only one who can solve it. You can't take your problem to some teacher and say, "Oh, this is my problem." Well, the solution is continue, right? Oh, you got a little scared. Continue. Oh, that's just a confused world showing itself to you. Continue, and you continue, right? No matter what, even if you feel like you're gonna fucking freak out, right? Don't freak out. Just keep continuing. So yeah, that is in my view. Then there's other things, compassion, meta. But you have to get to the point where you have something to offer. You got to get a stable mind. Counting breaths is a good idea. You can count and see if you can get over 100 without getting confused or lost. There's little tricks that you can play, but most importantly, keep it fun. So I have a website, and it's a little too much explanation of meditation. Also, another way to provide to this program. It's getting harder and harder to do this, all day long for free. and so if you could make a contribution between $1 and $1 million, anywhere in between is satisfactory. And this is a direct way to do it. If you're not familiar with Zelle is one bank account to the other. So mine is already set up for shorthappylife@gmail.com. So if you have a bank account, you go to your bank, you log into your banking, online banking, you find Zelle, you put in your email, you set it up. Doesn't take long. I thought it would be a problem. You set it up quickly, and then you could send money to anybody else that has a Zelle set up, any other bank, and just by using the email. Where would you like to send money to? And you send it to Short Happy Life. And there's no fees involved. You're not paying PayPal or Patreon. You're not paying anybody fees to transfer money. It's not instantly. It takes a few days, but it goes through. So if you're interested in supporting this program and taking on this 90-day meditation challenge, consider making a contribution, and so that this program can continue. And thrive, right? Because the more you contribute, I don't pocket anything. I just dump it right back in. I make it, I buy toys, and I sex loops. Make, I put it back in. So anyway, let's just start here. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I wonder if if he was born that way. Sounds like he's got a Muslim name. Honors LeBron James in passing the torch. So that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a former L.A. Laker. And that's the good LeBron James, who has been, accused of racism several times for the things that he has said. Still an amazing basketball player. And let's watch him take the last shot.
Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot in history.
Bang! So LeBron James has captured the all-time leading scorer.
Now belongs to LeBron James.
He knew he was going to do it. So LeBron James is now historically the greatest basketball scorer, and he's got some more miles left. He's not done yet. I think he's gonna maybe another year or two. I don't know how old he is. How old is LeBron James? LeBron James is fucking. How old is he? How old is LeBron James? LeBron James age, please. He's 6'9". He's 38 years old. Maybe he's got another year. 38 is old. 38 is old to play basketball with 21-year-old kids. So anyway, LeBron James, historic now. Something I didn't really talk about, excuse me, is the death toll in Syria, Turkey quake. Now, when I first saw this, I said to myself, Syria, Turkey quake, right? 7.8 on the Richter scale, knocking down buildings, mosques crumbling, all kinds of shit crumbling to an earthquake. And I was thinking to myself, maybe somebody, maybe somebody got under the ground and planted something there and blew it up. Fucking, I don't know. Anyway, bad earthquake in Turkey. Official death toll of a devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria jumped to more than 8,700 people on Wednesday, as overwhelmed rescuers warned that the number could grow significantly, with families still trapped under the rubble. So 7.8 magnitude quake, deadliest quake since 1999. Some images coming out of Turkey and Syria. Well, at least we don't have to blow Syria up anymore because it's getting swallowed by earthquakes. Imagine being in something like this. You don't even see it coming. There's no escape. I remember an earthquake in New York City, in Chinatown. My building, literally. I was sitting there with the cats on the floor in the kitchen. I don't know why. And because I felt it coming, I sat down and the cat water was splashing. That's how intense the earthquake was. It's not as intense as taking the building down, but it certainly felt like the whole building swayed. So it's a scary feeling when you're in an earthquake and, and buildings collapse. When that happens, it's only a few minutes, not even a minute. All of this happens in like 30 seconds or 60 seconds or 90 seconds. Really fast it happens. It's just a rattle and then collapse, And I don't know. Better them than us. Better them than me. I want to be sympathetic, but it's a devastating earthquake, and hats off to the people of Turkey. Wonderful place, Turkey. Wonderful country. Syria used to be a wonderful country until we bombed the shit out of it and accused the Russians of bombing the shit out of it and destabilized Syria. So they're suffering from an earthquake right now and under the rubble. So here's an interesting photograph. There's Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un from North Korea, leader of North Korea, bringing forth his daughter. Look at that, man. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and his daughter attended a feast to mark the 75th founding anniversary of Korean People's Army in North Korea. Definitely looks like him. There's another shot. Here he is with the daughter. At 10 years old, is almost his height. She'll probably get a little tall. The mother's pretty tall. It's a good chance, not as tall as him. I love how the mother, the wife, walks a few steps behind him. Right? But the point is the optics here. The optics are clear. His daughter visited the troops to mark the 75th founding anniversary of the country's army, as he lauded the irresistible might of his nuclear-armed military. So the optics are clear that he's pushing the girl to the front. Look at all these old hags, old fucking bombers, right? They're old military people that take orders directly from this guy. It's not like this country where, in the United States, the president will say, I want you to bomb that country over there because they suck. And the military will say, sir, we can't do that. We can't do that. That's not part of the policy of the United States of America. But in North Korea, the policy of North Korea stems on one guy. Right? It's a kingdom. It's you do as I say or we throw you in jail and make the jail disappear. So there it is. There's the optics. You can't make it up. She is at the table. She's sipping her drink. Is she drinking her wine at 9 years old? Looks like she's got a wine set up. Is that wine? Are you feeding the kid wine? State media photos show military officials applauding at the banquet. I don't know what it means. But there's a 9-year-old, 10-year-old girl rising in North Korea, And the military's loving it. Military's loving it. Why is the girl being thrusted out into the forefront? Right? So start to spin it. Spin it. American media. You got a juicy story here. Let's find out more about the girl. We don't even know how old she is. 9, 10 years old. They don't even know. I don't know. How old is she? I don't know. I don't fucking know. She's between 8 and 10. They don't even know how old she is. So pictures speak louder than words. There's a reason. It's not just, oh, this is my daughter. I want everybody to meet my daughter. There's some sort of motivation here. Usually people like a Kim Jong-un would keep his kids and his family out of the limelight. He's seasoning her. That's what it looks like to me. He's seasoning her for the ultimate takeover. So everybody is hating on Adam Tate. Adam Tate, right? He's a sleazebag. He's an opportunist. He hates women. But listen to his commentary, and I keep telling you the reason why nobody likes the reason why the black suits don't like this guy is because he calls out the black suits. He speaks directly to the people in their own vernacular. So listen to him go on fire, Andrew Tate, on fire. Listen to this.
When a black billionaire meets a white billionaire, do you think there's any racism? Do you think they care? He's a billionaire. I'm a billionaire. Both our yachts are in Monaco. He's from Algeria. He stole all the gold. I'm a stock market whatever. There's no racism. The racism's for the poor people. Because if you keep the poor people divided, they can't wake up long enough to do what I did and read about how money works. Because if they do that, we got big trouble, right? Then the slaves will wake up. You don't want to deprogram the slaves. So you have to convince the slaves that it's not the monetary system's fault that you're broke. It's not the monetary system's fault that you continue to work for a set number of dollars and the price of houses just keep going up and up and up. It's not the monetary system's fault. It's the white man's fault, or the black man's fault, or the Asian people's fault. Someone else's fault. I think all this stuff, feminism, racism, all these things, I think they're all control mechanisms. They have to keep the poor people fighting amongst each other, because if the poor people all unite, then it's much harder to control us. When a black billionaire meets a white...
Wow. Why is Andrew Tate being prosecuted? Did he really rape the woman in Romania that says she didn't get raped at all? Or is it something more? Is it something more nefarious? Like he's calling out billionaires. He's saying racism doesn't really exist in the billionaire class. They don't care. That's the truth. That's the fucking truth. You think a black billionaire cares or a white billionaire cares that the billionaire next to him is black from Nigeria? You don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter. It never does. It never did. It matters to you because the white guy, the poor people, the white guy and the black is getting in front of the white guy online, and the billionaire class is saying, "See, what you're a racist. Let the black guy get in front of you." Because it doesn't really affect us as billionaires. We don't give a fuck that you're fighting for pennies with some other guy. We don't care. It's good that you're fighting, so you stop fighting with us. Is what Andrew Tate is saying, right? It's very, 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 very powerful words. Also powerful words. Donald Trump, prior to the State of the Union, or after watching the State of the Union, Donald Trump has made a 2-minute video telling you the real State of the Union. Donald Trump is now saying that Biden doesn't know the real State of the Union, but I do, and I'm running in 2024. Vote for me. Let's listen to Donald Trump. Kick it.
Here's the real State of the Union. Over the past 2 years under Biden, millions and millions of illegal aliens from 160 different countries have stormed across our southern border. Drug cartels are now raking in billions of dollars from smuggling poison to kill our people and to kill our children. Mm-hmm. Savage killers, rapists, and violent criminals are being released from jail to
fear porn. Fear porn Trump. Trump is the mister. Trump is taking the lead. Fear porn. Thousands of rapists and drug cartels bringing poison and trying to infect your fucking kids, man. They're killing your kids, man.
They're devil worshippers, man, down there in Mexico. They want to eat your fucking babies, man.
You know, Trump guilty of a little fear porn.
Continue their crime wave, and under Biden, the murder rate has reached the highest in the history of our country. Biden and the radical Democrats have wasted trillions of dollars and caused the worst inflation in half a century. Real wages are down.
Yeah, it's not true either, Donald. It's not true either. It's when you have a pandemic, everybody unanimously in Congress released $2 trillion to the people to help them out of the fucking problem that the government was creating. So that's $2 trillion on top of the debt. But you want to tell me it's not necessary? You're telling people they can't work. They got to shut down their business. What do you want them to do? Starve to death? You have to give them something. You have to give people something. You can't just let them starve to death because you say that there's a deadly virus that's going to kill everybody. And if they go to work, they're going to get thrown in jail.
21 months in a row, gas prices have soared and are now going up much higher than even before. And the typical American family is paying $2,200 in increased energy and food costs each year. Joe Biden's weaponized Justice Department, and I'm a victim of it, is persecuting his political opponents.
That's very true. That's very true. Biden is definitely guilty of weaponizing the justice system to go after his political enemies. Who did he go after? Steve Bannon. He went after Rudy Giuliani. He went after Trump himself, Trump's kids, everybody surround Trump's lawyer. Fucking come on, man. That's a kangaroo court. Very, very true. Very, very, very true and very dangerous.
His administration is waging war on free speech. They're trying to indoctrinate and mutilate our children. He's leading us to the brink of World War III. And on top of all of that, he's the most corrupt president in American history, and it's not even close.
Is he really? Is he really more corrupt than Bill Clinton? Is he more corrupt than George W. Bush? Is he more corrupt than you?
But the good news is we are going to reverse every single crisis, calamity, and disaster that Joe Biden has created. I am running for president to end the destruction of our country and to complete the unfinished business of making America great again. We will make our country better than ever before.
Yes, Donald Trump. Going on record, Donald Trump not letting a good opportunity to get out in front of the cameras pass him by. So here's 36-minute mark. I'm going to let it run for a little bit, and it gets a little interesting and a little exciting right in here somewhere. And we'll watch. So there it is. There's your Congress, all your congressmen, the Supreme Court justices up front, all of the military brass up front, Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other. That's right.
The idea that in 2020, 55 of the largest corporations in America, the Fortune 500, made $40 billion in profits and paid zero in federal taxes? Zero? Whoa.
$40 billion on Wall Street, by the way, Joe, is not a whole lot of money. It's not a lot of money.
It's simply not fair. But now, because of the law I signed, billion-dollar companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. God love them. 15%. That's less than a nurse pays.
It's not zero. First of all, corporations already have a 20% taxation rate. It used to be 28, and they knocked it down to like 20. It's money that they don't pay anyway. When you say, here's the problem with large corporations, is that they have entire floors full of young tax attorneys that once you make a law, they find the loophole around the law all the time, every time. They're not going to pay tax unless you really, really rein in and go for the throat, which government is not going to do. They're not going to hold large corporations accountable. They're just going to use the tax. The corporations are going to dance around the tax code forever. So again, just lies. Yeah, we'll hold them to 15%. They got to give us 15% of all their money, and they never do. They never do. Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, is very happy about that. Her and Bernie Sanders were, literally tongue kissing over this deal.
And I need to be crystal clear.
Where is Bernie? Where is Bernie Sanders?
I said at the very beginning, under my plans, as long as I'm president, nobody earning less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny in taxes. Nobody, not one penny. But let's finish the job. There's more to do. We have to reward work, not just wealth. Pass my proposal for the billionaire minimum tax. You know, there's 1,000 billionaires in America. It's up from about 600 in the beginning of the term. But no billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a school teacher or firefighter.
No, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. It's just that the billionaires will always have the advantage because they have teams of attorneys and accountants that figure out the loophole, right? There's various loopholes, moving your money to offshore accounts and such, right? There's tons and tons of tax havens all over the world that rich people use, and people like you and I don't even barely understand what it is they're doing and how they come up paying zero.
I mean it. Think about it. I mean, look. I know you aren't enthusiastic about that, but think about it.
Okay.
Think about it.
I'll think about it, Joe.
Have you noticed Big Oil just reported its profits, record profits? Last year they made $200 billion.
All right. So he's saying Big Oil made $200 billion last year. So they make money. They're a corporation. They're a for-profit corporation making a lot of money selling oil. Okay. What's the problem, Joe?
In the midst of a global energy crisis.
So?
I think it's outrageous. Why? They invested.
Why is it outrageous? Why is it outrageous for an oil company to make money in a pandemic? What? I don't see the. They're supposed to say, "Oh no, we're not going to take the money. We're going to we're going to work for free. We're going to work for the government for free."
Too little of that profit increased domestic production. And when I talk to a couple of them, they say, "We're afraid you're going to shut down all the oil wells and all the oil refineries anyway. So why should we invest in them?" I said, "We're going to need oil for at least another decade, and that's going to exceed and beyond that. We're going to need it."
Listen to the laughter. Listen to the laughter. We're going to need oil for another 10 years. Listen to them laugh at Joe Biden. They're laughing.
Profits, record profits.
Watch.
Last year they made $200 billion.
Yeah.
In the midst of a global energy crisis.
What's up, Mitch?
I think it's
Anyway.
outrageous. Why? They invested too little of that profit to increase domestic production. And when I talk to a couple of them, they say, "We're afraid you're going to shut down all the oil wells and all the oil refineries anyway, so why should we invest in them?" I said, "We're going to need oil for at least another decade, and that's going to exceed and beyond that. We're going to need it."
They're laughing at him. They're laughing at him with this global warming that in 10 years oil is going to be obsolete. Is it? Well, eventually fossil fuels for humans as a source of energy will be obsolete. Is it 10 years? Is it 20 years? Is it 50 years? Is it next year? I don't know. That really amounts to when you have better product to offer. AKA a car that runs better on a battery than it does on gas, and a 18-wheeler runs better on batteries than it does on gas. When you achieve that sort of accomplishment, then people will gladly buy the battery-operated car. I can drive this car. It's a better car, and it costs half the price of the fuel is half or less. And it doesn't pollute the environment. Sign me up. I'll take one. Why would I want a gas-burning fucking thing that costs more and it's clumsy? The battery-operated vehicles have to obsolete. The technology has to obsolete the gas engine. Right? That's first. It's like digital photography eventually made film obsolete. Why would you want to film using film when digital is the same or better? And to edit it requires absolutely nothing, outside of a computer. You don't have to cut anything. There's no chemicals. It's the way to go, right? So, but battery-operated vehicles are not quite there yet, Joe.
Production. If they had, in fact, invested in the production to keep gas prices down, instead, they used the record profits to buy back their own stock.
Buybacks are common. Buybacks are common, Joe. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and if he does, he's just lying.
Rewarding the CEOs and shareholders. Corporations ought to do the right thing. That's why I propose we quadruple the tax on corporate stock buybacks and encourage long-term investments. They'll still make considerable profit. Let's finish the job and close the loopholes that allow very wealthy to avoid paying their taxes. Instead of cutting the number of audits for wealthy taxpayers, I just signed a law to reduce the deficit by $114 billion by cracking down on wealthy tax cheats.
It's just total bullshit. A deficit, he reduced the deficit by $114 billion. The deficit keeps going up. It's up $1 trillion, $2 trillion since he took office.
That's being fiscally responsible.
He's gonna give the big whopping lie in a second about Medicaid. Republicans want to cut your Medicaid in a second. Just stand by.
In the last 2 years, my administration has cut the deficit by more than $1.7 trillion, the largest deficit reduction in American history.
That's false. That's just a total lie.
Under the previous administration, the American deficit went up 4 years in a row. Because those record deficits, no president added more to the national debt in any 4 years than my predecessor.
Those are very fuzzy numbers. What he's throwing out there. He's trying to say that his administration reduced the national deficit. They did not. They did not do that. Did Trump raise the deficit? Yes, they did. They all did. Every year running for centuries. America has cracked up the debt higher and higher. The ceiling is now, there is no ceiling. I think we're up to $31 trillion in debt. Money that we could never, ever, ever pay back. And the only reason it stays in place, that debt, is because we have military pointing at every mother effer that holds our treasury bonds. All the debt is held by foreign nations and large corporations. If you try to take your money off the table, watch what happens to you. Watch what happens if you know what would happen to Japan.
Nearly 20.
You know what would happen to Japan if they took their $1 trillion off the table, or Saudi Arabia? They would lose American military support, and would get crushed by enemies overnight. China would flatten Japan, and fucking I don't know who's gonna flatten Saudi Arabia. Everybody around them, Israel, just flatten them. Right? They don't like each other.
5% of the entire national debt that took over 200 years to accumulate was added by just one administration alone, the last one.
It's not. It's absolutely not true. But continue.
They're the facts. Check it out.
It's not the facts.
Check it out. How did Congress respond to that debt? They did the right thing. They lifted the debt ceiling 3 times without preconditions or crisis.
Now, you know what I do like about this State of the Union? The Republicans are pushing back. When a president is standing at the podium lying, for the first time in a long time, you have actual people, actual Congress people pushing back, saying, no, that's a lie, not true. Finally, is it the young Republican wave? All those young Republicans that held out for committee seats? It just sounds like it.
They paid American bills to prevent an economic disaster in the country. So tonight I'm asking the Congress to follow suit. Let's commit here tonight to the full faith and credit of the United States of America will never, ever be questioned.
Yes, Joe.
Some of my Republican friends want to take the economy hostage. I get it.
Some of his Republican friends want to take the economy hostage. Let's listen to this and try to figure out what he's saying.
Unless I agree to their economic plans. All of
Not
you at
true.
home should know what those plans are.
What are they? What are they, Joe?
Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
Now, this is a long, ongoing lie the Democrat Party has told about the Republican Party, that they want to sunset Medicaid and Medicare and just let old people starve to death and people that work their whole lives in this country, the working class, and you're not going to get your Social Security. It's a big lie. Republican Party has never been about that. But for the first time, it looks like the Republicans are finally pushing back a little bit.
To the country. So tonight I'm asking the Congress to follow suit. Let's commit here tonight to the full faith and credit of the United States. Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
They want Medicare and Social Security sunset. It's not true. Not true. It's a long-standing lie, and this is one of the first times I've seen it. I've seen the Republicans finally stand up and with some balls and push back. Finally.
Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office.
No, Joe. Nobody has to contact your stupid office. They're calling you out on it. You're lying. You're lying right to their face and everybody else's face.
I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal.
What proposal? What are you talking about? What if you had a proposal? If you had a proposal by a Republican requesting that they sunset Social Security and Medicaid, it would be on the front page of the Wall Street Journal or the Washington Post. You would leak that in a heartbeat if you had it, Joe.
That means Congress
You don't have it. That's the point.
doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you,
But Jerry Green screaming out, liar, liar.
I enjoy conversion. You know, it means if Congress doesn't keep the programs the way they are, they'd go.
I love Kevin McCarthy's face. Kevin McCarthy is the new face of the Republican. It's like looking at him like, Mr. Old Man, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You're gone, man.
Oh, way other Republicans say. I'm not saying it's a majority of you. I don't even think it's even a significant. But it's being proposed by individuals. I'm not politely not naming them, but it's being proposed.
Why don't you name him? What's your because you don't. It's a lie, Joe. It's a lie. He's lying. So the Republicans. Finally, I think that this should be, if they're going to run ads for 2024, tell them right away that your president is lying to you about this business of us cutting Medicaid and Social Security. It's simply not true. It never has been true.
By some of you. Look, folks, the idea is that we're not going to be moved into being threatened to default on the debt if we don't respond. Folks,
the debt ceiling is irrelevant at this point. The government never shuts down. It's a lie. The government won't shut down. People are not going to not get paid. They're just going to keep printing more money in a fiat currency system that's ultimately going to collapse. Maybe in our lifetime, maybe tomorrow, maybe right now when we check the market. You just don't know when it'll collapse, but it ultimately will. So that's Joe Biden. Take it for what it was, what it is. Let's look at the markets. The Nasdaq and everything is open. Refresh, and okay, we're red. We are red right now. There's a story also that investors obsessing over AI is latest symptom of the Amazon disease. It's an article that is pointing clearly that big tech is not as profitable as they were during the pandemic and the giant, titanic rise of stock prices in technology. But they have they're off in a new direction, the direction of AI, chatbots controlling the narrative remotely and artificially. Now we know that they're doing that, and it appears in the form of censorship and silencing people and canceling people and such. And it's a bad thing. But technology is using it for their own gain, for their own profits. And I don't know, some people are cheering it on, saying, "Oh yeah, they're more profitable now." But for every penny more they make, it's less freedom, less of the Constitution for everybody else, in my opinion. So anyway, let's look at the big board and then let you go. We got today, so the NASDAQ down 75, Dow is down, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 265. How do you like that? How do you like that? I just got to click this thing, get this thing going, get it going. What is going on here? What's going on here? Okay, so we're refreshed now. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 56. NASDAQ is down 77. And on the big board, Apple down $1.33, Amazon down $1.80. Google, the magnificent Google, down $6.88 this morning. Meta down $4. Microsoft up 5.25. So you got some mixed numbers right there in technology. It looks like 4 out of 5 are getting slammed, while one of them is moving up. Tesla up $2.80 this morning. Bitcoin still going up to 23,100 a share. People predicted that it'll go to 40,000 again. If you want the ETF that follows it, it's BITO on the NASDAQ. And Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, the holy vaccine stocks mixed right now. Moderna down $3 a share. Pfizer up 22 cents. Johnson & Johnson flat. So market is red. We want to see green. We'd prefer to see green. So thank you all for joining me. Mark Escante reporting. This, State of the Union. What is the State of the Union? I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. The State of the Union is, it's what you make of it, man. It's what you make of it. What's the state of your union, really, you should ask. What is the state of your union? Thank you all for joining me. Mark Escante reporting. See you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time. Same bat channel. Peace out.